Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Pashvika, the channel where we make the content related to the female stuff, menstrual cycle, a lot more. In today's video, I'm gonna talk about that. Is it normal to have irregular periods? Now, everything that I'm gonna be sharing in this video are personally based on my experience and knowledge so far regarding my own cycle, regarding the research that I did in this area. Now, I'm not going to be sharing based from the medical point of view. So I'm going to be sharing the stuffs based on my experience and knowledge. So please take my advice with a grain of salt. And if you really need some expert help, please contact the gynecologist or any expert in this particular area to help you deal with your own stuff, okay? This is entirely based on my experience and knowledge, so there is a big disclaimer. Please keep this thing in mind while watching this video. So I'm gonna be talking about, is it normal to have irregular periods? Consider clicking the like button, guys. I do appreciate that. If you want more such video in future, consider subscribing, hit the bell icon. Whenever I'm gonna upload new videos, you're gonna get notified about it. If you're looking forward to take care of more of you and looking forward for self-care tips and tricks and strategies, then I have an entire PDF download that's kind of like a workbook planner that will going to help you take more care of that. It's a female self-care workbook. The link is in description box below. PDF download, kind of like a planner which you can very well fill it out and you can maintain it according to your diary or journal. With that being said, let's get straight. Is it okay to have an irregular periods, or what does the irregular periods really mean? Now I'm going to tell you it's okay to have an irregular periods and it's not okay to have an irregular periods. Depending on your unique situation, it obviously the answer will going to vary, but if you see that once in a while, maybe once in a year, you have an irregular periods, I think that's okay, that's normal. But if you see that you are repeatedly having 2 or 3 periods or 2 or 3 cycles irregular, then it's not really normal. Like there is something would be the underlying cause behind that. Now, this is the answer to this question. It's okay and it's not okay. It's okay if you are getting that irregular cycle or irregular periods once in a while, maybe once in a year. That's okay. I think if there is no any underlying cause, then that's okay. And if you're saying that your periods are irregular or having not proper cycle more than once in a year or 2 or 3 times or more than that, then it's not okay to have an irregular periods. Now, this answer to this question is entirely based on my experience and knowledge, so please take my advice with a grain of salt. Now, what are the reasons for this underlying causes of having an irregular periods? Personally, I do have irregular periods once in a while, like once in a year or something like that, and then the things get back to normal in the second periods or in the second cycle and so on and so forth. But why they do happen? Now, there could be so many reasons why you are having an irregular cycle or irregular periods. So I'm gonna just cover a few major reasons over here. Of course, there could be so many reasons, and depending on your unique situation, the reason could be different, or you could be having more than one reason, like 2 or 3 reasons, or maybe multiple different reasons. The one of the most common reason which I see personally and which I feel personally the cause of the irregular cycle is the stress. Stress is also one of the major factor for having an irregular periods or cycle, because the ovulation happens when your body is normal, that everything is going normal in your body. But when you are under the stress, the body sees that having an ovulation and all that kind of stuff requires an energy, the hormones and all that. So the stress, it just actually delays the ovulation, and that causes the long cycles, or maybe a spotting between a cycle, or maybe spotting in the late luteal phase or something like that, long periods or irregular cycles. Or you may miss one period in between and then the second period occurs within 15 days or something like that. That's kind of like an irregularity, which is not normal for one cycle to the next. So stress could happen due to a lot many reasons. If you are a teenager or a puberty, there could be a stress related to your exams, stress because of your parental problems, your personal issues, your family issues. There could be so many reasons why you are in the stress. Even if you're traveling, that could also be a stress, and that's also one of the reasons you could be having an irregular periods or the long cycles if you're traveling. So stress is one of the major factor behind having an irregular longer cycles. If everything is normal in your body, there is no underlying disease or underlying issues, then stress could be the factor. You need to check out whether you are under stress or whether you are having an anxiety, depression, or fear about something or the other. Maybe it's related to the things that you're about to start in your life. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're getting started with something something new that is starting with the business, and that's causing you an anxiety, that's causing you stress because you don't know what it will going to look like and how you're going to proceed with that. So there could be a lot of the reasons, but stress could be the number one. The second reason I have already covered is this travel. Travel is also one of the reasons of long and irregular cycles. When you're traveling from one place to other, or even if you're planning and you're deeply planning, you might feel that little bit of the stress before the travel itself, and that could lead to your irregular periods. The third reason could be the hormonal imbalances. Now, hormonal imbalances could happen due to a lot of the variety of reasons, birth control pills, contraceptive issues, or it could be due to your improper diet, like you're not having a balanced nutrition, you're not having a proper exercise, not having a proper sleep, or your mind and body is not healthy, like you are feeling or you're facing some issue in your life, maybe related to mental issue, personal issues, or health issues. Another reason I could see, that's the fourth reason, is due to birth contraceptive pills or the contraceptive methods that you're using for preventing pregnancies. Last reason that I want to cover for having an irregular periods could be an underlying disorder. Like you could be having an underlying disease that haven't been actually diagnosed, and that is the reason of irregular bleeding. There are so many different disorders that you can see due to the reproductive systems. You could see endometriosis, polyps, polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS. A lot many disorders are there. You can very well Google it and look for more details about the disorders that are related to the reproductive system. But the one of the main cause, if you're seeing that your cycle is being irregular, one cycle after the other, or if you're seeing that you're having more than one cycle in a year being irregular, then this could be the reason. Okay, reasons which I can say that leads to the irregular bleeding or irregular periods. Now, of course, there are so many reasons, guys. Okay, these are not just the only reasons that cause the irregular bleeding or irregular periods. There are so many different reasons that you can came across, and you can Google it. You can contact gynecologist, and you can get a personal advice and personal help in your own situation. But these are some major things which I see that can lead to irregular periods. Now, what you can do about the irregular periods? Now, I want to tell you that you do need to have a regular checkup with your gynecologist, whether you are looking forward to have a baby with your partner, or even if you are just a single female who are not in a relationship, not sexually active, and still you feel like you're having an irregular bleeding or some kind of like an issues, you have to contact the gynecologist, because that is the number one tip for you. Please go with the doctor, please go with the expert over here in this area, and talk about your personal situation. Be open and talk about your cycles, how it's actually going, and get your necessary help or necessary advice in this situation. The tip that I have for you is to look for this, to track your cycle, because if you're not tracking your cycle, how are you gonna know whether it's irregular or whether it's your irregular? Because personally, I can see when I was starting with my teenager, when I was started with the puberty, in the first few years, I wasn't really tracking my cycle, and I wasn't really knowing when I'm having periods or when I'm about to have a period. So I wasn't really prepared for when I'm expecting to get my periods. So I wasn't really knowing whether it's a regular cycle or irregular cycle, because I don't know what's happening with my body, because I wasn't really tracking the cycle. So that's what I want to tell you, to track your cycle. Even if you're not doing right now, please get started with that. Okay, it's simple. You can use a piece of paper. If you're not a technique person, you can have a different mobile applications. You can have a planner, PDF, whatever way you can do that, but please track your cycle. Another tip I have for you in this particular area is to assess the reasons. Now, of course, the gynecologist and the doctor will going to help you diagnose much more better and much more medical way. That's you should be doing that. But before that, I would highly recommend you to analyze your situation. Look at the cause that you could expect that could lead to the irregular periods. I mean, if you see that you're under some kind of like a stress, whatever that stress look like, or you're traveling, or you're taking contraceptive pills, that could be the reason. Or the hormonal imbalance, you are not taking a proper sleep, or not eating proper, not having a proper exercise, or you are having some mental issues. So look at that stuff. Okay, just know your reason, because before going to a doctor, you should be knowing what's happening with your body. Then only you'll be able to convey the right thing to your doctor, that I am thinking that this could be the reason of my irregular periods. So you could be, if you would be able to know much more better about your body, and then you're gonna convey that stuff to your doctor, and that doctor will be more ready to help you, and also they're gonna give you more tailor-made advice for your own specific situation. And the last tip that I want to give you, please don't go into stress or don't go into depression or sadness when you see your cycles are getting irregular. Personally, I've faced this situation a lot many times. When I feel like, or when I see that my cycles are getting irregular, I really get annoyed because I want my body to work function normally. And we do get the fevers, we do get the stuffs in our body, and that's normal. That's what the periods is. If you're having any viral fever or any some underlying stuff, then you might have irregular periods. So please don't freak out. Freaking out will going to make your situation even more worse. So don't freak out, just be normal, okay? And take few deep breaths before you actually decide what you want to do, and then look at the underlying causes or reasons that you think that could be leading to the irregular periods, and then go to your doctor, to your gynecologist, and tell them that this is happening and you're thinking because of this, and you would be able to get the right diagnosis for your own particular situation. If there is some disorder or if some is disease, then there could be some of the measures or some of the treatments that you can undertake. If it's normal, there is nothing wrong with your body, then probably you can just let it go. Hopefully these tips and this thing will going to help you to know more about the irregular periods, irregular bleeding. Now it's entirely based on my experience and knowledge so far, and all what I've seen, what's working. Hopefully this video will going to help you. Please take my advice with a grain of salt because it's entirely based on my experience and knowledge. And that's it for today's video. I'll get to see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye guys.